Tones TV.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's Black Tones TV. It's Chuck Jones. And if you do me a favor, as you come in, go ahead and click that like button and give the channel a follow. Anything is appreciated for you. But we've got I think we got a wonderful guest in here that we're going to talk to. And you may have seen him around. I know some of these cats out here have been doing business with you. And his name is Walter Dillon. And what's the name of the company?
Hood Apparel and Gear.
Hood Apparel and Gear. And I think it's on Instagram. I noticed there's Hood Apparel, the letter in
With the gear and gear, yes.
Okay. So I'll try to make sure like I put that in the description and everything on the video once we get it up. But Walter, thank you for coming in.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to be here. This is like I'm saying, I'm just finding out who he is compared to who I thought he was. And I feel like I arrived, y'all. So I'm blessed to be here.
Man,
it's a privilege.
I think I need to get out and get a tan. He thought I was a white guy. I got
all that time I've been watching AJ Stacks. I'm like, they got a Spanish guy or a white guy. I said, they must really be doing something big in the city.
To be honest with you, like growing up, my family, like I have one brother, one older brother, one younger brother. My father's like super bright.
Yeah.
And all of us, for some reason, we walk in different places, they'll start automatically talking Spanish to us for some reason.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what I was thinking. I'm like, all right.
And I noticed it depends on whether I have, I can't grow a fro anymore. But when I had a fro, they didn't do it. But when I cut it close,
yeah,
and I had the waves, yeah, that's what it was.
They thought it was an essay. That's right.
I see you wearing the New Orleans hoodie.
Yeah.
So are you from San Antonio?
No, I'm originally from New Orleans.
Okay.
Practically, the tent ward is what we call it. We have wards down there,
I think we all learned it from Ghetto Boys,
Yeah, in Houston, they're the third ward.
Okay.
In our neighborhood, we are the tent ward, and that's the St. Thomas Housing Development. That's where you got DJ Jubilee, T.T. Tucker. The origin of bounce, as some part of it started in the tent ward. They do have other elements. Trigger Man and a lot of other guys that were doing their part in and around the city.
Yeah.
But for my little niche, it was DJ Jubilee, T.T. Tuck, and a couple other guys that did our little portion of bounce.
Okay.
So it's more forever right here.
So when you how long were you grew up in New Orleans?
I grew up in New Orleans until I was 13. Then my mom transferred to Los Angeles, California. We stayed there for 3 years just to be with her mom and the rest of her brothers and sisters. Because everybody moved and just left her and my auntie there.
Okay.
And that was it. So when she felt a little homesick, she took off and we went up there for 3 years. So that's when I discovered Long Beach, Compton, Los Angeles, gangs, drive-bys, Crips blood, treetop pyrus, all of that, lowriders.
So I'm assuming that was probably right in the mid late 80s somewhere. Yeah,
exactly. And from that point, we moved back to New Orleans, and then just a little. By that time, it was a whole different world.
How old were you then?
I was 16, coming from Compton.
Oh, you were deep in it.
Yeah, and that was the first time I saw a herd of lowriders. Locals.
Oh yeah,
Mexicans, Hispanics, Vietnamese. It was a culture shock. Samoans. The real.
I'm surprised to hear that. Yeah, because coming from back from Hawaii, I saw a lot of them. Yeah. I didn't think they were in California like that.
Yeah, they were deep out there, man. They had their own neighborhood. I mean, it was just.
Wow,
they were tough.
I'm assuming they had their own gang affiliation.
Yeah, they did. They were called a Booyah tribe. That's a rap group. There really was a following in their culture. So
I remember the Booyah tribe. Okay,
they were really tough. I give my hats off to them. I respect them.
So while you were there at 16, were you like lured into any of that stuff, or
the first night? I will tell you a little story. The first night, fresh from New Orleans into Compton.
Yeah. So you went straight to Compton there?
Yeah, we went straight into it.
Okay.
Burgundy and white Stan Smith, old Adidas. Retros.
Yeah.
Blue jeans, a white T-shirt. I got a medallion on it shaped as a stop sign with my initials, W, C, and D.
Okay.
And we're walking into this store called the Boys Market.
The Boys Market.
Okay. Oh, Boys Market. I just remember my mom said, y'all go down the aisle and get some stuff. So we went straight to the cookies, and a bunch of guys came up around us, kind of surrounded us. They were like, "What's up, cuz? What's up, blood?" And I'm looking at it.
Oh, they trying to test you?
Yeah, they trying to see where I'm at because I got all of the colors on. I got the symbol with a strange initial in there. So they like, "That's West Side." Something. I'm like, no, like, y'all not my family because I'm just brutally honest. Like, I don't know y'all. Y'all not my family. I ain't your cousin. And my brother like broke through the crowd and went and got my mom. My stepdad at the time was a security guard. He had his little Smith & Wesson. He comes through there and he started telling me the business of what goes on and how to dress and how not to dress. And he was like, you can wear those colors, but you just have to know where you are and how to respond. You don't have to disrespect them. Just say, "Hey guys, I'm new to town. Glad to meet you." Whether you sound corny or not, but it might just save your life.
Yeah, exactly.
So I said, like, "Hi guys." Like, "Hi guys." Don't be like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what? You know, like, "Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm from New Orleans. I just moved out here. Nice to meet y'all." And it kind of throws off the machismo of them in their culture. Like,
it lets them know, okay, he's not really sure what's going on here.
And work the scuffle. So they let me slide a lot, and I appreciate them.
Oh, wow. That is so wild, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a few family out there, but they're not in like the Compton area. So, and I've only been out in California one time, but I know living in Hawaii, there was a friend of mine that's from Compton.
Yeah.
And he used to tell me about some of them stories similar to that, too. So,
and we were in the heart of Treetop Pyru. It's a blood territory, but it was literally the OG spot in Compton.
Yeah.
We had the big homie Zachary. I don't know if he's dead or alive, God bless him. He was the family had a lineage in that neighborhood. He was the big homie.
Okay.
Anything went through him. And they had all the lowriders, all the muscle, everybody reported to him. Funny story, DJ Quick was maybe a block away.
Oh, really?
Had a nice little ratty Impala. He come riding through. Speak to me, chop it up with nice guy, but I just didn't know who he was at the
time, right? Was he actually doing things back then?
They were like DJ on their Porsche.
Okay.
He could have been, way more
in the middle of moving up.
I just didn't know. I just learned about NWA when I got to Compton High.
Okay.
So it was a lot of the locals. I didn't really know them. I just was learning about them as I got into it.
Okay.
So it was real nice to kind of, as I grew into it, like, oh man, that's DJ Quick now. He'll stop and talk to you, like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Blah, blah, blah." Chop it up. And he'll just cruise on down with this little El Camino. I call it a day. And now I look back, I'm like, man, I really had to chop it up with
DJ Quick. For real.
They see that. I mean, remember me from nobody, but still.
I mean, that's a story in itself.
Exactly. Yeah, that experience.
Yeah, he might. I mean, if you were to say something or somebody to say, "Do you remember this?"
This Walter Dillon, Reverend Miller's son from No Culver, right off of Rosecrans.
There you go.
I let your boy, DJ Quick. I was there, man. I saw you pass by. We chopped it up. Right in front of that old yellow orange banana truck. We call it a watermelon truck.
Oh,
they had wooden sideboards and everything on it. So
DJ Quick, get at him, man, for real. Well, that's cool. So while you were out there, and you said you came back after what, a few years?
Yeah. I think when I turned 16, my stepdad was an older guy. He was born in 1913, so he was he was an old head, but he had different ways, and I guess the upbringing that he had, he was trying to instill that same type of upbringing in our dispensation at the time, and it just was a big clash.
Oh, okay.
So my mother like, y'all getting into it too much, and I wasn't disrespectful. He just would have this. Almost like a slave master, man.
I was gonna say, he's definitely, his mind was way back.
First day when she introduced us to the house, before I got in the door, he just came to the door, opened up the screen door, and just gave me a rake. Just put the rake in my hand.
Boy, you getting to work.
Like you ain't coming in this house till you earn your keep. And I respected it. I understood that, but it was just the way.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing, son? Nice to meet you. Like, we're gonna come and put your bags down. This is gonna be your room.
There's no relaxing at all.
I just straight tension. Boom, you come to the door, you get the rake the yard.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
Hey, he let you know from the beginning. That's what it's going to be.
It was his own, Donkey Kong from there. And I got some wild stories with that cat, but
I was going to say, because him being born that long ago, I'm sure he's got a lot of,
I think he was like 40-something when my mom was born. We joked
Wow.
But she did that out of convenience for us.
Yeah.
You know, she found somebody that liked her and had a spot where we could actually, you know, come and have some type of lifestyle, some type of structure.
Yeah.
He was a reverend. We call him Bootleg Rev. He did a little bit of everything. So it was funny just to grow up in the house.
Now, when you came to San Antonio, was there a reason you guys moved here?
The reason why we moved to San Antonio back in '99, my baby mama at the time, she joined the military.
Okay.
She joined the Air Force. And she was going to come unaccompanied because we had a premature daughter.
Okay.
She was born at 26 weeks. So I had to learn all of that stuff. And she really wanted to get away, you know, from the setup of New Orleans.
Yeah.
It was toxic for everybody at a certain point. So she had the mindset to like, you know what, I got to get out of here. So when she made up her mind to go to the military, I had to take on that responsibility of, you know, being a single dad, a baby dad at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't married or what have you. And she came to the military. And once she got herself through boot camp and got set up and got settled in San Antonio at Lackland Air Force Base, then we just came up.
Okay.
Me and the daughter came up. It was a lot of back and forth because I was a fish out of water being from the projects and then coming into a military setting.
Yeah, it's totally different.
It was just a lot of in your head, you know, like I can't say this, I can't do this around these people, I can't tote this, I can't carry this, I can't. It was just, I can't. And I'm like, I'm going back home. So it was like every other week, I was
back and forth,
just running.
Yeah, that military life is. I mean, I'm a military brat. My father's he's retired Air Force, so
Yes,
so I understand where you're coming from. There's a lot of structure that they push on you.
Oh yeah, and after a while, I did it out of the respect for her because I'm like, you know, she went against all the odds.
Yeah,
Even being pregnant, you know, right out of high school and still made it to the military. Like,
yeah,
let me shape up and abide by the laws and everything so she can be okay. And that's the one thing I always did, like make sure I don't mess up her bag or what she trying to
yeah.
her right. Because I was from the streets and I always could go home and family connections could get me this and get me that. But for her, it was different. She had to earn her keep. This was her career. This was her desire. So we just stuck it out.
And it takes a certain type of person to even put up with getting in the military, because you gotta, as boot camp goes, you got to go through a lot of BS.
Yeah.
And just to be able to get through that, you know, that lets you know, okay, then she must have had a serious drive to get up out of there.
I mean, yeah, cats like me saying, I'm trying to get you pregnant so you can't leave. You got other cats, because I got her pregnant, they want to get her pregnant, you know. So it was a lot of like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I understood the pressure. I didn't realize it at the time. I was just trying to, in my own world, keep her in a safe place in my world, but that wasn't her world.
Yeah.
So she had to come out and show me that I'm creating another world for us. And that's how that happened.
That's cool that you decided, okay, I'm going out there. I'm going to try it, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I was a fish out of water. Wasn't used to all of the decorum and strictness of what you could do and what you can't do.
Yeah.
And just being myself, I wasn't a bad person, but I did have, you know, some traits that,
you say you're from the hood, right?
So feel different or inadequate around military folks. So I kind of was always quiet, had my head down. But then when I found out they were just like me, they just got a break to do something different.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, so I don't gotta feel this kind of way, man. They had cats selling weed and drinking and doing everything. So I was like, oh, all right, I see now. You know, everything.
And you got to think about it. Like a lot of the ones that go in are from the hood. You know,
exactly. And that's when I started learning. Oh, the military for some of us was the last job. I'm like, I didn't know. I thought it was like handpicked. You know, you've been in school, you've been doing so good. Uncle Sam wants you. So when Uncle Sam came knocking at my door, my grandma said, "You better not pass that test. You better mess up on it. You better mess up.
Like you ain't going nowhere."
I sit there and play it dumb, man. Know all this stuff. He's like, sorry, son. Maybe, you know, study a little hard. I'm like, okay.
That was the plan, right?
They just rolled up on me, man, out of nowhere. Like, hey, man, we need you to take this test. We're thinking about drafting you. We're doing this and doing that. Ooh, all like, she whispering in the phone, Wall, them people trying to take wall of the wall. You know, that's the first thing she said, they taking little wall of the wall. She was like, you better not.
Yeah, mamas don't want to play that, boy. So when you came, okay, now you're in San Antonio, and when you finally decide, okay, I'm going to stay here.
Yeah.
Then what was your plan? Did you have a plan?
I literally didn't have a plan. I'm not going to sit up here and say I had a master plan. I had ideas in my mind about Hood Apparel.
Yeah.
On paper.
Uh-huh.
I had a logo. I didn't have any back of the end business, nothing about taxes, nothing about copyrights. Just had an idea.
It was all a vision, right?
It was just, and it started with Hood Tested, Ghetto Approved.
Okay.
Hood stood for helping our own develop.
Oh, nice.
Coming from New Orleans, Ghetto stood for getting high and taking them out. Because my family had a record label called My Figure Records.
Okay.
So I wanted to be part of that, but for some reason it just, internally we never hit it off with.
Yeah. So you come from a musical background there. Okay.
The funny thing, I don't share it with a lot of people, but as a kid, I don't know if you remember those Dentine commercials.
Yeah.
I was the little kid with a little notepad, and I would just write all these jingles, and I would repeat them, and people would laugh. So I always had a knack for music.
Yeah.
I know it's a gift of mine. I just never utilized it until like I'm like 52 now, and it's really starting to make sense. Like, man, you got all this.
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah, just do something with it. Cedric Bellamy, like, come to the studio, man. Get something off your chest.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of.
So is there something with your voice on it out there that we can listen to?
I do have something, but I don't think I have it in my presence.
Okay.
A buddy of mine, Ruben Alvarez, RJ, from the West Side, we used to kind of joke around and record stuff like that. Spook G, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah, I know.
There was Spook G, Ruben, and a couple of other guys. But yeah, those are the little group that I hung with when I was in San Antonio.
Okay.
That was musically, doing something.
Yeah.
And I think Ruben, along with Spook, they probably got some recorded somewhere.
Well, okay.
So in them two, one of them got something
somewhere in the archives somewhere.
Guys, yeah.
Oh, good deal. I mean, is that?
But I'm thinking about doing it. I really am.
That was my next question. Are you still interested in it?
Yeah, I'm very much interested in it. It's kind of like a burning thing where the Lord will give you. And the reason before I say that, I was listening to Denzel Washington, and he was giving a little analogy of how your gifts would be at your bedside while you dying, and they'd be like, "You didn't bring us to life."
Oh man, that's real right there.
You didn't do this. You didn't do that. So when it came to the clothing business, I was like, you know what? I've been sitting on this idea for so long. Let me push it out. So now the music thing is really just pressing. And I get country songs in my head, and I'm like, where is this coming from? But it's just a natural thing.
It's there, yeah.
And I wrestle with it, and I'm like, I'm too old to be doing this now. And why? But it's your gift.
Yeah.
That's what I had to understand. Like, hey, I been gave that to you. What you do with it is up to you. But don't get mad at nobody else if your life don't go the way you do. All of that was something I've been.
And you've been sitting on it. Yeah, you've been sitting on it since the beginning.
Yeah. So now I feel more comfortable and more at ease now to just like start the process, because all of the things are in place.
Okay.
AJ Stacks, Lee Money, Cedric Bellamy, that whole outfit. Anything I need, whether it's music, beats,
all the parts are there.
All the parts are there. It's just me stepping and walking into.
Yeah.
So that's the next chapter of Hood Apparel, is literally getting into the music business.
Man, I mean, well, the business you're in, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it does. And that was the blessing of, that's how I met Lee Money and AJ Stacks.
Okay.
I was only giving clothes to Cedric at the time.
Okay.
I wasn't really selling. I just was stockpiling stuff, and we met. I'm on Instagram, and I see those two in the gear, and I'm like, oh, did I get jacked? Like, did I get? I'm checking my archive. I'm like, no. And I hit them. I'm like, hey, like, blah blah blah. They're like, oh yeah, we got this from such and such. I'm like,
oh, so it wasn't direct from you then?
And I was kind of concerned. I'm like, how did they get that outfit? And that's really how we start chiming. And we just started talking on Instagram. And then they actually got a song for me. They made my song and everything.
Oh, nice.
They got a whole Hood Apparel, nice little jingle. So
okay.
It really built me up in San Antonio.
Okay, that's what's up.
Those guys, they really got me going.
That's what's up. And now that you've got the clothing line going, and how's business?
Business is good, but I had a hiccup just recently. I don't know if it's the tariffs that slow disorder.
Oh, so it's like very recent.
Yeah, this is like the crippling part, because all of from 2021 to 2024, I just had droves of clothes. This next batch, I was like, this was my introduction to Hood Apparel.
Okay.
So everybody had the tracksuits, the fast, heavy cotton. They just had a gambit of outfits. So now I'm curtailing it to this one type of tracksuit, and I was like, this is gonna be what I do.
It's gonna be your signature.
Yeah, this is gonna be the moneymaker right here.
Okay.
I've blessed everybody. I've city officials, everybody, mom and pop installations. Who name it? Whoever had a name, whoever asked for it, they got it. Wasn't no give me. I need to get this. It wasn't about the money. Hood Apparel wasn't created as a venture to make money. It was just an idea, personally for myself, that just caught on fire.
Yeah,
and that's why I would always like just around the house. I would make something, and then if somebody liked it, then I would post it on Instagram or Facebook. Back then they didn't have it. I just wear it.
Yeah,
where you get that from? What?
Exactly. That's
And it make me want to give me this in this color. Like, yeah. So that's how things started. But there's one particular set that I started crafting with the supplier. He booked it. He made it. He sent me the pictures and the photos and the videos of everything. Told me the next day they're going to send it all. We're going into Ramadan. We're going into our Holy Week. Blah, blah, blah. It should be there. But that was right doing that tariff and all of this stuff that was going on.
Oh, man.
And it just went black.
Wow.
And we've been rocking for years, so I can't say we decided to beat me out of $900 to $1,200 when I've been sending them $2,500 to $3,000 to $1,600.
It's safe to say they just got cut off.
Yeah, they really got hit hard, and I was like, I'm like, if it come back to you, just send it to this address.
Yeah,
come back to you, and then they just went like flatline. I was like, man, I don't even see him posting. I don't
nothing,
advertising. I'm like, man, maybe they really got hit hard. Harder than what I expect. So I'm still hopeful that it comes, but that this will be my first loss in the business.
In the industry, yeah.
And I guess, you have a good run, and then you come to face with something. You got to face something. So
yeah.
A miss bundle of everything you really, AJ say like, hey, when is coming? When is coming? I'm doing this show. I'm going all season now. Should I stop asking? And I'm like, oh no, I ain't acting funny. I really don't know where it's at. The supplier don't know where it's at. We just sitting here like looking at each other. I can't blame him. He can't look at me and say, you got it, and hold him back. I'm like, he never got the email that said that the carrier got the stuff and then it went forward. Okay, so we get somewhere in Pakistan, sitting on the water or sitting
in a port somewhere,
just sitting there. And he's like, I'm so sorry, man. I was like, well, before we jump into the boat again, let's just wait it out and see.
Yeah.
See how it goes. So it's a growing pain, especially in this my first major in the game. So
major hiccup.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
So how long have you been doing? I mean, when did you first start like putting design to cloth?
I was in high school in New Orleans, and we took a sewing class for extra credit. And I went in there, and I didn't have everybody was making t-shirts. They was using like the heather gray. They was doing just like regular, like what we got on now, just regular material.
Yeah.
For some reason, I went and grabbed some Christmas material, and I made a nice, crispy, stiff, because it was like curtain material. I wanted to be really different.
Yeah.
But I wound up putting it on. The teacher loved it. She was taking pictures of it, showing people. She's like, it's really different. So I put it on. I was working for a company where we would stock up the grocery stores with cigarettes and pickles, whatever they had, snacks.
Yeah.
And I remember jumping out of the car, going to the back, and one of the ladies on the corner, she saw it. She's like, hey, where you get that shirt from? I said, I made this shirt. She's like, baby, like, I don't know who you is. She said, but you got something going on. She's like, your hands are blessed to create. She's like, don't let nobody stop you from making more. She's like, we could make some money if you make some more of those shirts and bring them over here. She's like, I guarantee you we could do this, this, and this.
She was like, I'm down.
Yeah, she was down, but she was a street lady, and I knew that from seeing all the time, but I should have just took heed to what she was saying about it at that point. But I did start branching out. My first shirt that I made, it the first shirt that I made, the company closed down on me, so it never came out.
Oh man.
I had a bunch of fists on the all imprinted on the shirt. I wanted to puff ink so all the fists could pop out, like kind of like balding out the shirt.
Yeah.
And I had the Omni on the back with the 1 million niggas inside.
Yeah.
And I had that on there, had my little tent war sign. And it would have been nice had they not folded.
Yeah. So did they actually make one? They just couldn't, they just shut down? You don't even know, huh?
I put my fee in there. My all fee was $35. And it's like, give us a week or two to do this or do that, which I thought that was the time frame.
Yeah.
Now that I do it myself, it take a few days, maybe an hour or so to run the artwork or whatever. This depends on how intriguing it is or how.
Well, the reason I ask is there might be one person out there walking around with that on.
Well, sure, right? Yeah, so but it didn't come to pass, man. And when I went back to the place, they were gone, and I was like, wow. So, and I've learned my lessons from dealing with companies. I got robbed by the city of New Orleans with a shirt design.
Well, Airly just took over the design and did the run.
Everybody is wearing this shirt now. I don't know if you remember when Katrina hit.
Yeah.
Remember Mayor Nagin had that shirt with desire across the front?
I don't remember, but I remember
in New Orleans, we have our street names. We have them on the signs of the street, but we also have them on the floor.
Oh, okay.
And in the ground.
Yeah.
And they're in these little blue tiles.
Oh, so like you can look up or down, what street you're on.
You could actually be walking. If you're looking down, you'll be like, well, I'm on Decatur, I'm on Josephine, or whatever the street is. So I had an idea of how there's a place called Bright Moments. And they were like, we need help getting kids to go to Lake Pontchartrain and clean up the beach.
Okay.
I was like, I got a good idea. So I, emailed them like, hey, we can use all of the different project names, put them on the shirt in that tile that we have around the city, and we can do this and do that. So she's like, okay. And that's like, I know where to sell them at. I know all the HOTAR buses come into the city. They got all these different conventions. I know where all the buses line up. I know where we could place them at. So I did all the little intricate details for them.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, well, I like what you're doing. I showed her the design. I printed one out for myself, made it myself, shot it back to them. Like, okay, well, all we doing now is waiting for the underwriter, somebody who's going to actually
put the money up. Yeah.
Put the money up. They're going to look at everything. They're going to go through the paperwork and say, well, oh, he got a good idea. If he put it in this spot, yeah, all the visitors that come to the city going to meet up there. They're going to see the street names. And they notice it when they're on tours. Oh, we're going to get that. But maybe a week into it, I call them back. I was like, well, I'm just checking on the progress of it.
Yeah.
So like, we found somebody else to do it. I was like, wait a minute.
To do your idea.
To do my idea. What all they had to do? Print it out? Because it was already, we just waiting for somebody to pay for it.
Yeah, so you came up with the ideas and the look and everything else. It was all done.
So when Katrina hit and I'm watching Mayor Nagin on national television at the airport talking about what was going on and this and that, I'm looking at
with your design.
He had desire across his chest.
Man.
In every group, every Mardi Gras group, some of them had Muse, some of them had this, whatever their crew name.
Oh, they just ran with it.
They just ran with it because it was something different.
Yeah.
It was unique, but nobody thought about it. And I'm the one that did it. And that's when I learned, you got to protect
your property, your intellectual property.
You got to make sure you put.
So you had no recourse. There was no way of proving anything.
It was just like a disconnect because Katrina, when
it was just chaos. Yeah.
Right, so it was like, who am I going to be calling?
Yeah, that's true.
Nobody's not really around to care, let alone worry about your little,
So now that you brought up Katrina, you were there during that.
We were actually in San Antonio.
Oh, you were here already? Okay.
We were already here in San Antonio, but the wife's family, I think all of them got displaced. My dad and my family, we had property in Mississippi, so they were able to go. Some of them went to Houston, some of them went to Mississippi, but for my wife's family, we had like 28 people in our house.
Oh, wow.
In San Antonio. But the community came through. All of the neighbors, we didn't have to ask nobody for nothing. They just knocked on the door.
They all helped out.
$300 check. He said, I know your light bill gonna be crazy.
Nice.
I know the water bill gonna be crazy. Don't worry about paying this back. I know you need groceries. Furniture truck just came down the street and just dropped off tons and tons of furniture. just packed us out, man. It
makes you feel good that you can believe in the community, man.
Exactly. That Adams Hill community. Shout out to everybody that was living in Adams Hill community during Hurricane Katrina, because y'all really blessed the Dillon family, man. Y'all blessed not only the Dillon family, but our family in general, in whole. And I mean, they were having people like just coming through, just giving us any and everything they could, clothing, food, just that they knew that the people were there.
Yeah.
And they just came through, no questions asked. Just
they say, I know you need it here. Don't even ask. Let's go.
They went in, man. That was like phenomenal, man.
You say Adams Hill. Why does that sound familiar? That's on the northwest side over there?
That's right off of
Marbach Road.
Lane. Yeah. And that was our little stuff.
I graduated from John Jay out there.
Yeah, my kids graduated. All my kids graduated. Well, they didn't all, but the majority of them graduated from John Jay.
Nice. That's a nice little nostalgic nugget.
Two oldest daughters, they're 29. They almost graduated from John Jay, but once we PCS to Masawa,
okay,
they weren't able to carry that.
Okay.
They wanted it bad though. We still got them class rings.
I know that was off to the side, but my next question for you is like, where has it always been in you to come up with design ideas for clothing?
Yeah, it's just a burning thing. I think
just like the music, huh?
It's just something that always burns in me to create something. I can't sit idle and not create.
Not be doing something, right?
What I found out is the city of San Antonio, they do like a brush collection. And people cut trees down every 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
So they do all this bulk wood, and I decided to take the wood and make furniture. I got lamps, tables, I got end tables.
Wow.
Just nothing gets by me that I can recycle anything. So I do furniture. I make rustic furniture. I don't sell it. I make it to sell, but once I get it and finish it,
you're like, man, I want this. I like this
over there.
That's awesome. Because so it's not just a specific area. You just the creative gene is there.
It's just a burning thing. You can't cut it off.
Yeah.
You can try to bypass it, but it'll just bleed into something else. If I don't do the rap or I don't do the songwriting, I'll wind up getting up and making pressure out with it. If I don't do that, I'm gonna wind up messing with some wood pieces, and now I got a lamp or a tabletop or something like that. So it's always something that just like don't stop.
Yeah.
I want to do that. All right, do this. And and I'm just like pretty much all over the place doing something, and I want to steady my hand and create the streams of income for each and every pieces, and I think I'll be all right in my latter.
And you hitting deep into my heart, man, because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, man, he's pinning me down right there, because not the same type of artistry, but if you look around, I got music stuff, I got art designs and everything else that I do, and I kind of feel the same way, but to me, I feel like sometimes I'm kind of drowning in it, because I come up with an idea. Oh, I want to do this, and then another idea comes up, and then boom, I'm over here. I'm like, I never finished that. I need to get
that's actually how it is.
Yeah.
You just jumping around. That's why I say if I could just do a little,
just get focused, right?
Just focus on this one aspect. I'm gonna follow this through. Now, the biggest thing is I did Hood Apparel that way. I followed that through. I pushed through all of that name don't sound right. That ain't gonna be no good idea. I don't know if that's what you need to be doing. I don't like that.
All the second guessing.
I mean, everybody in my life has something negative to say about Hood Apparel. But I realized,
as long as you believe in it,
Yeah, because it's your gift, and that's what I had to learn. I was like, why does it matter what you say? And then you
gonna support me or what?
And then the skin gets harder, and it's like one ear and out the other. I don't like that. I don't think that's gonna be it. I don't think that's it. It's like I never really asked you. I mean, I was in church, man, and I had a nice velour that I made, and I just wore to church for noonday prayer. And I remember I just hearing one of the elders talk to the pastor like, I'll follow him in the hot dog business, but I don't know about that Hood Apparel. And I'm in the middle of prayer. As much as I'm trying to get to the throne, part of me just like rose up and was like, who said I need you to follow me? I'm not, this is not for y'all. This personal. It's a personal brand.
They taking it personal on themselves.
They like that, but they didn't understand what Hood stood for.
Yeah.
They just know that what they thought the Hood stood for. Just
It's automatically negative, right?
Yeah. And when I broke it down, it was like, oh, wow. But that's why when I did the initial push, I did more helping and with Miss Tia Gibson, Monster Mom, the nonprofit. I gave more to her and her group than trying to sell to her in her group, because I knew it was a help. It was a plus.
Yeah.
When they did the Grammys and the little awards for her group, nobody, not even Cedric, knew that I was coming with gear to give to the kids as part of their graduation, for the process of him teaching them how to do music and make beats, and they did their own little rap. So at the end, when they were graduating, they getting their little Grammys. They also were getting Hood Apparel and Gear, which was icing on the cake for everybody.
I know they fell in love.
Really? You know, like he like, bro, that's that you help make it a success. And that's what it was about.
Yeah.
That's really what it was about, blessing people. Because what I didn't want is to have a successful brand and then it becomes something negative where people are fighting, robbing, stealing to get it. You know, people getting knocked over the head. And I was like, nah, that's not. Even though it's Hood Apparel, that'd be the first thing they say, you know, such and such is wearing Hood Apparel, you know, he did this. And he did.
You want it for everybody, not just a certain type of person.
But I wanted to be presentable. If I have to give it to you myself to show you that it's obtainable. And it's not cheap. It's real high-end material. It's breathable. It's all-weather gear. So you can wear a velour, or I got the summer velours. They're nice and thin. Or you can wear a tracksuit. Now, mind you, the heavy winter tracksuits, they're a little bit heavy. I had the extra large, but I since it was on the shelf, I was like, I'm gonna leave that there until something else coming in. If I don't get anything in, I'm still gonna get you.
Hey,
it was like I want to touch down.
Hey, whatever's whatever. I'm not tripping on it anyway. So let's get back to, I mean, just a quick backtrack.
Yeah.
One thing on what we're talking about, being involved in a bunch of different things and not being able to focus on one. One thing I have learned is that once you finally decide to, like what you did, once that gets going, it opens the world up for all the rest of it.
And that's what I'm seeing with Hood Apparel now. Now that it's out there and it then went forward, now I can see myself kind of not taking my hand off the helm, but I could be like, you know what? It's a steady entity now. It's known, it's breathing, it's living. Let me jump over here. Not abandon, just let me jump over here and mess with this rapping and this musical thing.
Well, once it starts kind of taking care of itself a little bit.
Exactly. You could come inside and look and say, oh, I got an order here, I got an order there, and a rap, back that up, send it out. But you got entertainers, they'll call you like, hey, I'm doing this, I need this. All right, we got that. Screw it away. Let me jump on this and be focused. And I think more so now is the time. I'm probably behind the time, but I know it's that dispensation in time for me to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing, even with being here, like this is part of it. Like, okay, he's showing me, hey, the podcast is, you got it set up, and you in the biggest league right now, sitting here. So you know you're getting to see how it should be or how it can be. So I'm like, okay, this is the.
It's saying, okay, you can do that. You know what I mean?
Don't you know?
And to be honest with you, I think, I don't know if I've seen one, but think up like a apparel podcast or something like that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I want to do a documentary on. It's a brand that I started. It's called Black Sheep, and it's by law a crown king for black for men, and by law a crown queen with a Q for women.
Oh, on the black. Okay.
Yeah. So I just kind of, and I could do that all day. I could get a word in the letter and change it, and it just
make it fit. Yep.
But Black Sheep, it was a buddy of mine working at the post office, and I had the thought he would come to the house and we'd sit down. He's like, man, I really want to do something with you. I really want to work with you, man. I seen what you did with Hood Apparel. You know, help me to do something. And I was like, you know what? I got something for you. And I literally gave him a tutorial on how to build the brand, like from the ground up. I mean, going downtown, getting the DPA, you know, getting the tax ID, you know, getting the copyright, the trademarks. Only thing I didn't show him how to do was set up Shopify because I didn't know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not computer savvy to do all of that. But everything else, for as the back of the house, setting it up, getting the mail or the outside mail address separated from your house address,
yeah,
the whole nine. And I just ran him through it real quick. He just jumped on and he just took off. He'll show me his account, 5,000 this day, 10,000, 15.
And it's taking off, huh?
It's taking off. And I was like, see? And and I told you, like, man, nobody never did this for me.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I got a lot of big homies. He said, and they got a lot of money. He said, but nobody never gave it to me. Nobody never gave me the game and said, here you go. I said, I'm not the kind of person that want to dangle the carrot in your face and say, well, I'm going to show you how to do the brand, but then make you wait.
Just enough, right? Yeah.
And I'm actually put you in the driver's seat, gas it up, make sure the tire's good. We're going to push you and get you started.
Yeah.
And how fast you drive is up to you. How slow you
and how reckless you drive.
I said, and he'd be like, man, we doing this. And I'm like, all right, you want to do something else? Now you know the process.
Yeah.
So you can now in turn do that for somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't hesitate. Just do it for somebody else.
Have you ever thought of, I mean, you already have the blueprint. Have you ever thought of maybe packaging that up? And
that's a thought. I just being me, the selling part of it, I was like, that $27.99, my 3-day course and you'll be straight.
Yeah.
It's just that part of it. I got to get past a little bit of my own inner workings to monopolize it.
Yeah.
But I know I could do it. Black Sheep is a living proof that, hey, I took this one. He been working the post office all his life, and didn't know nothing about that, and just gave it to him and showed him and pushed him and brought everything to life for him. He just took off running with it. And everybody like, wow, how did, like, he actually gave it to you? Like, he really did. He didn't, like, keep it.
It's a shock for some people.
Yeah, really? Like, you learn how to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So maybe if I fall off or one day I'm on the,
it'll come back. Yeah.
He might be like, you know what, man, that guy really gave me the business. So I'm like, for whatever reason. But that's what you do. I just pay it forward.
Oh, that's what's up. I mean, and I think we need a lot more of that. I know back in the day, that used to happen a lot.
Yeah.
The community was always helping itself.
And that was the one thing.
And these days, it's you don't see it.
It's everybody for themselves. And I understand, the times are different. The economy is different. So everybody's trying to hold on to that dollar for themselves and or make it for themselves and hold on to it for themselves. So I do get it.
It's rough,
It's rough, but at some point, if you could share a little bit of knowledge or wisdom, and I could split $1 with you at the end of the day, and you eating just as well as I'm eating, then I feel comfortable giving you that 50 cents.
That's what's up. Yeah,
I feel comfortable. If you make 75 and I still got my 50 cents, I'm good. If I got my quarter, it's good to have, and then because you never know who's going to in turn come and break bread with you for something you did. And I do it out of love, out of general love, because I know in my mind, I know the process of it. So I'm not going to like really haggle you. And I've had people call me up and say, I want to start a brand. And I do in my mind, and I tell them, I'll do $150. I'll give you $150 worth of t-shirts, hoodies, sweatpants, whatever you want to do.
Just to get you started.
Just to get you started. But it's up to you to set up your website, because guess what? I ain't the guy. I got a GoDaddy that they be calling, Mr. Dillon, you got to press this button to do this. I'm like, oh, that's why I ain't getting no sales over here. When getting them on the sales, all right.
It sounds like you the person I need to talk to then, because
I was like, man.
Because this is one of the things I'm doing now is Black brand. So I'm just now kind of starting to get a few things in. Sounds like you got the knowledge I need. You know what I mean?
It's this easy to do, and I don't mean like easy where you just gonna be a millionaire overnight. But
you got to put the work in. You got to sweat it,
and that's all it is. It's just doing the work. Once you kind of get the work going, then you'll be okay. It'll start moving for itself. You just have to want to do it. And besides anything, you're doing it for yourself.
And you got to focus.
You have to focus. You better like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this black thing right now, and I'm gonna focus on this. Whether it be merchandise, like the hats or bags or whatever, because you're gonna still use.
Yeah, that's one of these too. So yeah, I've got them all. But back to your clothing and creating designs and getting them to different artists and everything. Are there any memorable artists that you've hooked up with some clothes?
I would say one of the high enders in my place is Miguel Nunez, Joanna Man.
Oh yeah,
Chris Bird, the world champion boxer.
Oh man,
who else I could just? And these just a few people that I Teddy Riley.
What?
And they whole little group.
So before we move on there, Teddy Riley, how did that get started?
It got started through Cedric Bellamy. Because he was wearing the clothes, a lot of the people that he knew thought it was his brand.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
So I can't think of this guy's name, but he called him up. He's like, hey, I see you rocking the Hood Apparel. I need this, I need that. He's like, no, you got to go through my man. So the guy gave me a call. He's like, hey, like Dillon, I just talked to Cedric. He's like, I want to check out some of your merchandise. He's like, do you know Miguel Nunez? I was like, not by name. And then he showed me a picture. I was like, yeah. Like, oh, your boy, Joanna Man. he's like, yeah, here go his address. Send him something. He gonna do a video for you and say he rock with you.
Nice.
He mess with you.
Yeah.
He said, I got Chris Bird, the boxer. He's getting ready to go to Dubai. And he did a nice little PSA on Instagram that say, I rock with Hood Apparel and Gear. I'm like, it's not hitting me.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's going out like, man, this dude got people.
Yeah. It's strange kind of how that comes about.
And that one guy just plugged me in with all these different rappers. And then I don't know how I get in touch with a kid and play DJ Bro Rap.
No way.
So I got DJ Bro Rap. He's like, hey man, I'm doing this thing with Tom Joyner. I didn't make the cut for that because they were already on the ship, but I had to go, so I didn't send him. But as far as Kid and Play, I was sending them stuff. But everybody was calling and getting it. And I wasn't looking for the money. It was just like me.
That's a marketing right there.
To get it in those guys' hand. They were doing celebrity boxing. They were doing shows. They were here and there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna count this as a loss, but I'm putting the work out there.
Yeah, you put the work, and you get visibility.
About it, I just was like, so you guys, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of those people on the East Coast, they were really putting me on. And it was the people that DJ Scott Digger, a lot of reputable DJs in the game was like, hey man, I really like what you got. DJ Bro Rap put me on to you. Like, I'll send you a few dollars if you need to. It was a big influence. I can't think of his name now, but it was early when he was doing all of these videos and stuff. He hit me up. And he was like, man, like, I'm going to put you on my page. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Just send me this and send me that. I'll send you whatever you want. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it out of love.
Yeah.
Respect. Boom, here you go on the page, do this and do that.
Just return the love, put the name out there.
It was a crazy ride with Hood Apparel.
Oh,
After I look back thinking about it, I really touched a lot of big names.
That's what it sounds like.
I wasn't expecting, and being in places where I was like, wow, I didn't really think. Now that I go back and look at the videos or something like that, I was like, I really was.
It would really. But one thing I noticed though, like when you start doing that, your head is down working so much, you don't look up to think about it until things kind of slow down a little bit. You're like, wow, okay.
I was on the phone with the guy who was putting me in touch with all these people. He calling Jay Prince.
Oh man. Because
they were trying to get what's the guy's name? The big dude out of Chicago. I can't think of his name.
Out of Chicago.
The big man, I'm hurting on that.
I can't think of. See if I can.
He was trying to get him out of jail. They were trying to do this thing where they was getting a lot of people out of jail.
Oh, okay.
I guess he's the big homie out in Chicago, and it was a big old thing about it. But he was calling Jay Prince, trying to get Jay Prince to talk to me and this and that. And that was right around that time when that little incident with Offset and the Migos, one of those kids, and I froze up because I'm like, I don't want my name.
Don't know if you want to be involved in that.
With Hood Apparel like circulating right at that time. It could have been good publicity, but I was just like, hey,
that was a hard decision.
Yeah. So I called Cedric. He's like, but what they got to do with you? I say, the situation ain't got nothing to do with me. I say, but I'm like right on the phone in the talks.
Yeah.
All of this, and they already going through this. I said, I know how the game works.
Well, you can't just go right off of immediate stuff. You got to think about where it's going to end up.
And that was what it was. And I had his sons on Instagram like, whoa, do this, do that, and I was just like, let me just backpedal on this one.
Yeah.
I'm okay, but kind of wanted to see which way it would have went, but. Sorry, Houston. I'm gonna get y'all back on the books. I promise you. But it was just one of them things, man, that I was like, man. But
well, I mean, it's automatically, you already know it's there.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter. Okay, we need to recreate.
But just being in that phone call or being on the other end, knowing somebody's really working the magic for you. That was the biggest flex for me. Like, oh, you really calling J Prince for me?
And your name is proliferated out there. So
and they really like, I want him to make this, and I want this on that, and I want this, and I want that, and I'm like, okay. I was like, wow. So, but it's a lesson learned. Sometimes you just jump off the porch and you can just go balls off the wall and see how just whatever gonna happen. But it's like if you think about it too much, like you say, you just be like, you know what, I'm overthinking it. Let me leave it alone, and then you don't do nothing to it, and then you start over here, and then you start doing that, then you overthink it a little bit.
Yeah,
jump back over.
Yeah.
Then pretty much you got everything going, but ain't nothing going.
It's halfway there, Man, yeah, I know that feeling.
I think from this day on, man, I'm gonna jump onto this little music thing and just let this thing move the way it should have been moving.
Yeah.
And this is like my sign to do it, so I'm good.
But like I said, with those two industries, they work hand in hand. So just the clothing and the music, I mean, bam, it's right there. They can move at the same time,
I did something on Instagram, on Facebook, that showed me the kind of like, not power like I'm a boss, but just the influence that the brand has on the community. Guys, he's a rapper named Hizetta's son is a local rapper. AJ Stacks, they local rappers.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one of them rap, and I was like, man, and I just typed on it, man, it would be nice if you two guys get together, do a joint.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like the next day.
No way.
It's done. All because I asked, just made a comment. And when I called, I'm like, man, what made y'all do it? He's like, bro, you put it out there.
And there you go.
It's like, you forget who you are.
Your name holds weight, whether you know it or not.
And that's the part. That's the part right there that I have to get used to, because he was like, bro, you said it. You touched it in a way that, you know what, like, man, let's just do this for this dude. He been 100 for us.
Yeah.
He give us whatever we want whenever we call, and let's give him what he asked for. And when he told me that, he was like, his other son, like, man, you're pretty much all boss with it. So just act like it. We ain't gonna think you're acting funny. We ain't gonna think you're acting brand new, but you don't want to be too humble to where you're missing your blessing.
Yeah, I have to learn that. Definitely.
Like, don't be too humble. The Lord be like, I didn't give it to him, but he over there with his head smiling, acting all shy now.
But yeah, like you said, you put it in your head for a reason. You gotta grasp it, take it, and run with it. You know what I mean? So what's I know you say you're gonna spend some time focusing on the music.
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas or plans, or who you're gonna work with, or anything like that?
This year, it's a what do you call it, a carousel of whoever, and I don't mean it like in a negative way, like whoever wants to smoke, but whoever have something going on, or whether you're a rapper, a comedian, had a chance to hang out with Bubba Dub because of Hood Apparel.
Really?
When he came into town.
Well, see,
they called me. I brought some goods. We chopped it up. I sat in there on his interview. So that was a big plus for me. Got invited to the show. Just took a picture with him and everything. The whole group. So that was. I was just like, am I dreaming? This B-Dub right there.
Well, I mean, that right there should let you know. I mean, when they come in town, you're not even thinking about it. They're contacting you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You say,
call somebody like, hey, we got to get Hood Apparel over here. Tell Hood Apparel such and such going to be in town. We need A, B, and C. What he got? Bring it over.
Yeah.
We have the table for you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow.
So it sounds like you always got something sitting waiting.
Yeah. And even with this, I say, I'm going to play this here, see how it go, and see how it move.
Yeah.
Get a field test. I know I got to get it in Cedric. We forged a deal where he's the ambassador now. So anything I come out with, before I let anybody get it,
he gets first dibs.
Myself, I got to let him play it. But I just had to try it out. I had to get a little field test to see how the Orleans is gonna come along. But yeah, he's my guy. He really introduced me to all of what I'm doing now. So he's been a blessing in my career with this.
So how do you, and I've haven't been like really focused in like fashion as apart from just products, but like material, and how do you come up with, okay, I need this type of material for this type of clothing?
Well, since I took sewing and I just kind of been in and around it, you'll know what you like if you in the fashion thing.
Okay.
I sometimes walk in Goodwill and I see a old hoodie or something, and I'll take it. I'll rebrand it and put my logo on there and clean it up and sit it up there. Like, man, this is the material. So now I want to get into the sewing part, like actually cut and sew myself, which I know how to do, but I just been giving the ideas to somebody else.
Oh, okay. And having them,
they'll show all together. Curious, say, hey, what about this? What do you like that? What about the striping over here? What do you like? I want to be able to concoct my own piece.
Yeah.
And then send it off and let them reproduce it. And that way you have a better feel of what you want. So
yeah. That's why I say I hate it cuts out a lot of time too, because like you said, and your other supplier, they've been cut off so far. So
now then that's making me like, man, I have to really produce something.
Yeah.
People calling, they're like, hey, what we got? You got anything? Like, you got this? Like, you know what? No, I don't.
I want to maybe reach out to some of the local sewing.
And that's one of the parts I want to find out, because I kind of bypassed all of the stateside places because I was doing it international or overseas or whatever. But now you kind of curtail and come back home. There's some
at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
So
they got some friend companies in LA. I'm pretty sure they got somebody in San Antonio that has bulk material. They do have a few warehouses out here called Aviva, and that's where I go to get like hoodies and short sets and stuff like that. So I have access to stuff to stock.
Okay.
But if I want to really create what I like to see in Hood Apparel, I'm still gonna have to make it myself, or get a spec, and then send it off and talk to somebody, and we just negotiate over the line what I really want.
Getting your own designs. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I could create it at home. And I could press it, but if I want this to be, embroidery, if I want this to be screen print, this is just vinyl right now. So over time, over wear and tear, this probably peel.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So, but the embroidery and everything else, that's longevity. The screen printing, that's good. That's gonna last. So, all of those different avenues, well, you have to learn and figure out what you want.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be stuck on vinyl, but just for like a quick, let me see how this look. Let me see how it's gonna look. Let me see how this is gonna feel. Then I could go inside and cut the vinyl, press it,
Okay.
I'm good. I can do that. Just for novelty hoodies and stuff that I make around the house. Somebody want a hoodie with Hood Apparel, I'll do all of that. But if I really want the longevity of the piece, then I gotta step it up.
Okay. Now, have you ever, I know we kind of around the same age, so you remember back in the day when everybody was wearing rayon, and everybody was hitting the hammer pants and parachute pants, stuff like that. Do you see, you being in that kind of the fashion industry, do you see any new fads that should be coming out pretty soon? Like something that would be pretty big that's going to last for a little bit. Like from what I hear all the time, everything's cyclical, right?
Yeah. I like the bell bottoms kind of came back, but they didn't come fully. They just got this new slouchy leg pants where they're not as bell. They just it's a little bit over the shoe. They just kind of hang there.
Oh, I don't think I
saw that. But I'm used to the elastic around the ankle, like real tight, crisp around that. So I have to think about, I have to make clothes for everybody now.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody wanted. It's just a longer piece, and it's kind of bells out just enough to cover the bottom of the back of the shoe. It's dragging the ground, and I'm like, I'm a knee freak. I gotta have it precise. My grandpa made us put our clothes in the cleaners.
Oh,
so we were like starched sharp edges. Yeah, we starched up in the hood. Like, where y'all going? Like, nowhere. Grandpa be telling us put our clothes in the cleaners. So I've always been like that. we never had to sag our pants.
Oh yeah,
Have no belt. It was always, nice and neat. So we stood out, and they knew we was a Dillon because we was starched up and
yeah,
we looked presentable. Even though we was hellions in the hood, it was just we was nice with
yeah.
So that was
There's still some of them out there. I work with one. He come with his pants, his jeans starched every day. Every day.
And again, I watch videos where people roast the OGs. They're like, "Grandpa, you actually wore these?" I used to do like y'all have no idea.
Yeah, for real.
This was it, man. This was the thing. But yeah, it's just and now that I'm actually getting into the couture fashion and I'm learning about different shirts and blouses and going into the female side of it. So there's a lot of stuff I want to do now. The tunic pieces. I was just talking to a supplier online, and I was like, he sent me a spec of a female cut, and I was like, no, I just want a hoodie on the back of there. You put a hoodie on there, the sisters will rock that, whether it be short sleeve, long sleeve, maybe with a little hand pouch in there. And he's like, oh, I never seen it like that.
See,
I'm trying to tell you, I help
giving you the game.
I help you with your sales on that because I know you're gonna run with it. You can send a picture like, look what we got now, and I'm okay with that.
So what do you think of these days when everything's social media, right? So
Yeah.
you got all these cheap fashion brands that are out there, like what is it, Temu, Fashion Nova, and all these little ones that you see all the time. What do you think about those?
I mean, I don't think negative of them. I just everybody's gonna like what they like, and everybody's gonna want what they.
And that's the thing. So with social media, you're designing for the world now. I mean,
yeah, and that part I didn't really realize. I didn't realize how many people was like. Sometimes when you're on the line and you can see somebody like in Germany, you see somebody like in Pakistan because they were making it, but they were still watching to see what I was doing. And like, oh, he really selling this stuff. Like, oh, send him some more stuff. But this is a good thing now that you're internationally known. Even before I was patented and trademarked, I would like take my Hood Apparel gear because my wife at the time, she was overseas. I would just take a pack of T-shirts that I would make. I'll brand them and put my logos on there and just send them to the troops.
Oh, okay.
So I was just putting it anywhere that address, that PCS address will go, I was sending it. Like wherever it landed, it was just out there. Gift boxes. When they were calling for clothes for the homeless and the cold season.
Yeah.
I do this hoodies for the homeless.
Okay.
When the cold snap come in, and I had to like battle in my mind because they got enough stuff with them. But here I come with another batch of hoodies, and I'm like, hey man, but you really need to put this on. And I was like, it's cold outside, and I actually had to stand there and help a guy put one on and make sure he was good.
Yeah,
and that's you go bring him food. And you give it to them, but in my mind, like, I'm just giving you another piece of garment that you're going to throw in that bag after it get dirty. Not that it mattered to me, but I'm just like, wish I had another way to build them up and then get them going. But for that time, that's what me and the daughter was doing, like hoodies for the homeless. And I ain't never really promoted that. Like, I ain't had no camera, no cell phone while I'm doing it. If I heard that there's going to be a temperature drop, she would automatically come in the room like, Dad, I got like 5 hoodies. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get some more. We make about 15 hoodies. And we just do the corridor, Highway 90, or 410, Military, and Marbuck, that little square.
Just checking for people. Yeah, it's just
here, got a hoodie for you, got a hoodie for you. You can have some bread, I give him a few dollars. If I didn't, I go buy some food, come back. But that was just my little circle, because I was right there, in Liberty Island. I mean, Liberty Village at the time when we were in that. But it's just a blessing to be able to move around like that.
But I see that. I mean, in my mind, that's true charity. You know what I mean? You're not looking for nothing. You're not promoting it. You're not.
And I never wanted to put a camera in somebody's face to show the world, like,
hey, look at me. Look what I'm doing.
I would do the promo like, hey, help if you got any hoodies, let me know. I come pick them up. We doing the hoodies for homeless.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really tell everybody where I'd be because I didn't know where I was going to be. I just had to wait till the cold snap hit. And then just do a random drive.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when you see the people, and then you give it to them, and you pray for them if you need to, and keep it moving.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I had a scary episode because I pulled up to one guy right off of Hunt Lane in Marbuck, and I literally thought he was dead, bro.
Really?
he fell asleep and he had the his slobber, but it was crispy.
Oh man,
Tears in his eyes, they were like hanging. It was
looked like he'd been there for a long time.
like, dude, then passed away. So I'm standing there, kind of leaned down to gather myself. And I just stood there for a few minutes. I ain't pulled my phone out. I'm just hesitating. Then I went over there and shook him a little bit. Shook him a little bit more. Yeah. Come on, Lord, not this morning. It's finally like after around. We got him a hot cup of coffee out of the living room. Sit there and talk to him, pray for him, pray with him. Got on. Well, I went back around there after a while, like, let me just like go back and see. He was gone, so I was like, okay, he good.
At least he up moving. He old.
Yeah, but man, I don't know if I'd have been able to handle it if he'd have been gone.
Man, I mean, you may not have thought about this, but you may have saved his life.
I in a small way, I think I did, because if he sat there that long enough, I think he would have gave up the ghost, man.
Yeah.
And I think he was almost there. I just think the Lord had mercy on me, so I wouldn't be cutting up out there.
He put you in that spot at that time,
I never seen slobber frost up. Never seen tears out your eye crispy like that. Well, you can actually like, man, it just rolled down his face and it just stopped right there. It was icy. All right. Just imagine his blood already.
Yeah, exactly.
Slowly just.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because if he had sat there, if you hadn't shook him and said, hey,
that was the early 6:30, 7:30 cold snap. That ain't that clock when the sun.
But he been there all night.
He been there all night, and he probably was just drifting in the darkness. So that was just something I really ain't shared that with nobody but you today. This thing is right. Keep to yourself, it ain't nothing to brag about, but sometimes the Lord moving mysterious.
That's a blessing right there. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Well, Walter, you got anything else you want to tell the people?
Hey, just bear with me, guys. I know y'all don't see me posting and doing. I just had a major transition in my life, so I'm recouping from that. But other than that, we waiting on the product to get in, and like I shared with my man today, if I can't get it shipped in, I'm gonna have to start making it myself. And I can't do it.
You think about it, hey, if anybody out there knows somebody that can, sew and everything else,
you look at local suppliers and distributors in the San Antonio area. Hit me up, 210-249-1026. My number universal since Dillon, Louisiana, famous hot dogs. I still got the same phone number from way back when I was selling hot dogs on Highway 90. So it's the same number, same Dillon. I'm just doing clothes now. So if y'all have any suppliers or anybody that's in the local area, besides Aviva, I already got my connect with Aviva. I can go in there and buy pretty much anything, but there's some manufacturers in the San Antonio area, maybe even the Houston area. If y'all can hit me up, go to Hood Apparel in Gear with the letter N in Gear on Instagram, or Walter Dillon on Facebook, and just drop me a line, because we trying to, get reestablished. I think I've been cut off with the connect. Over in Afghanistan, we kind of don't know what's going on. So just holler at your boy. Let me know, and we're going to try to get things going for you guys.
Stay true. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. But now, now you done brought something else up. You said you were selling hot dogs on Highway 90.
Yeah.
What was going on there? How'd you get into that?
Long story short, when we were in California, the mean stepdad, he had a hot dog wagon, and we would be on Manchester and Vermont selling hot dogs, right? So as time passed, he passed away, and I went back to Compton, and I was like, I can't wait to just bash this machine to death. This took all my football, all my after school activities. We had to go sell hot dogs on the weekend. But when I got it, then I saw it, it just kind of resonated with me. So I talked to the wife, I'm like, hey, we're gonna bring this hot dog cart back to San Antonio, and we're gonna start a hot dog business. So she's like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Called my brother-in-law. He chipped in. He we brought it down, got it refurbished, got everything nice and neat. And I just renamed it. It was Miller's Kansas City famous hot dogs. Okay. I just put Dillon's Louisiana famous hot dogs.
Okay.
Went home, got this nice, it was a weird blend, but it was nice. It was fish, crawfish, and shrimp.
Oh, wow. And that's more like some gourmet hot dogs.
Yeah, it was real nice. It didn't go well with the locals, because I guess they were used to just a regular sausage. Yeah, and in Texas, they smoked their meat and they had brisket. So it didn't go well. But then I went back to LA, and we had brought the metal form hot dogs, the Dolores chili. And that right there was the winning thing.
That was the combo right there. Huh?
We were sitting right across from John Jay. It was a salon. I think Mo. It was a female black-owned salon. I think it was called. Her name was Mo. Mo Salon or something like that. Right next to a pawn shop. And man, that's where Dillon got their start. And I was just a hot dog seller. I was before my time, man. I was doing a lot of stuff. And that turned into a building on Frontier and Highway 90. I had a whole hot dog building. I was just sell hot dogs, you know. Cops would come by, college students would come by. So it was a real nice thing. But then because of the military and we had the PCS, I just had to shut it down.
Oh, okay.
And go. Had I stayed, yeah, I'd probably still be in that little spot.
Man, that's awesome. That's anything. See, I can see that's something I would have never even thought about, you know?
Yeah, I literally can do it all. I just, like I said, we gotta decompartmentalize and put everything in perspective to make sure that we good.
That's what's up. All right, everybody. That's Walter from Hood Apparel. Y'all make sure you check him out. I mean, you know he's here. He's already been doing business. Just stick with him. He's gonna get it back running. So
we about to bounce back. We just, you know, these tariffs. I don't know what happened. We just waited on the supply. It ain't got here. So Lee Money, AJ Stack, Cedric Bellamy. I'm not holding out on y'all. I just don't have what we ordered yet. So as soon as I get it, first dibs, much love. And for the city, hey, we're gonna flood y'all again like we did the last time.
Awesome.
We're going to take care of y'all.
All right. Thanks for coming by, man. It was good talking to you.
I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That's Black Tones TV. Get in there, hit the like button, follow the channel, help us out, man. We all need a little bit of help, you know. Let's say it back. All right. Let's get out of here.
Peace.